If you're struggling with writer's block, these tips will help. What's up, guys? My name is Tom Scalisi, and I'm a freelance writer and blogger, and I'm going to change up my intro a little bit right now. As if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I usually talk about how I have thousands of articles, but the truth is that I am a high volume writer. I take on a lot of work, I work quickly, and I'm able to produce high value content, and it allows me to make quite a bit of money at my job. But what that means is that I don't have time for writer's block. I can't get an article and sit in front of it and stare at the screen and bounce a ball off the ceiling all day long, because chances are I've got at least another 1 or 2 articles that day to write. So I had to figure out a way to master a writer's block very early on. And although sometimes it still can be difficult, these couple tips will help you. My first tip is this. Go get some exercise. If you can't figure out how to write or start an article, or sometimes it could be even just like landing, I like to call it landing an article when I'm coming in for a conclusion. The best thing you could do is change your physical state. I can't remember, I was listening to Bedros Keuilian, and he said that the fastest way to change your mental mindset is to change your physical condition, and I believe in that. So if you are struggling to beat past some sort of writer's block, the first thing that I would do is go ahead and get some exercise. Could be 25 jumping jacks, it could be going for a walk, could be doing some push-ups, could be going to the gym, but whatever it is, go ahead and get your blood pumping and get moving, and that's going to help you get past that writer's block. So the second tip I have, I think this is like a really good key for an article that sucks to write. So it can be an article that's really hard to write, or the research sucks, or it's boring, or maybe it's just a topic you don't love, but you're taking it because you're trying to build a portfolio. So what I like to do in these situations is I like to follow a couple of celebrities that I know do some positive stuff, right? And one of my favorite guys is, I'm a big basketball fan, and I love Shaq, right? For those of you who don't know, Shaq was a basketball player. He played center for the Magic, the Heat, the Lakers. I can't remember if there's anybody else. And I just love the guy, right? And he does all kinds of positive stuff. And this one video I saw today actually brought this up. He was standing around talking to a bunch of other guys at ESPN, and a little kid in a LeBron James jersey sneaks out of the crowd and goes over and hugs his leg. So security runs over and they quickly grab the kid and get him out of there, right? So Shaq looks back and he sees that it's just a little kid, and he tells security, hey, give him a break, and he waves him back over. And then he takes a picture with the kid. And it's just, I think it was really endearing and really positive. And part of breaking that writer's block is that you have to inject some positivity into your mindset right then and there. So find somebody that you believe in, that frequently does positive stuff, or even says positive stuff if you need motivation, and check out a couple of their videos. Be careful, because when you end up on social media, it's really easy to let that negativity in. And also, it's really easy to just screen suck and stay on there forever, just staring at a video, but video after video after video. But that's a really good way to break writer's block. The other thing I like to do, this is kind of funny. So I don't know about all these sports references, if they're going to land or not, but I'm a baseball coach, right? And one of the ways that if somebody's really struggling with their swing doesn't feel good, the suggestion to them is to move from, if they're right-handed, to take a couple of swings left-handed, and that allows them to their body has to make up for it with athleticism, and by the time they go back to swinging right-handed, it feels better. I like to do the exact same thing with writing. I have a couple of creative outlets. I like to, one of the things I love to do is I love to cook, right? So if I'm really struggling with being creative with an article, what I'll do is I will shut it down and I'll go cook. And I will try to create something. I'll grab some stuff out of the cabinet and I'll put something together. And that is a way for me to exercise my creativity. By the time I'm done and we're done eating and everything's cleaned up, I usually have a fresh outlook on that article. So maybe for you, it's not cooking. Maybe for you, it's drawing. Maybe for you, it's reading. Maybe it's for you, maybe you want to write something else. It's just whatever it takes to exercise that creative muscle. That's what I think you should do. So when you're struggling to be creative with writing an article, just find another way to be creative and another outlet. All right, another thing I like to do, which I guess this is like my fourth tip probably, when I want to break writer's block, is sometimes I just make a mess, right? And let me explain what that means. I don't actually mean like a real mess in my life. My wife would kill me. What I mean is I make a mess with writing. So sometimes what I'll do is I will create a copy of whatever brief I'm working from, and I'll just start writing, and I'll write whatever comes to mind, and I don't hit the backspace button. I actually saw this. It was John Mayer he was writing music, and I think he likes to write lyrics on a typewriter because then he can't hit the backspace. So that's what I do, is I don't hit the backspace and I just write. And eventually I will come up with an idea that along the way that actually works. And the rest of it can be total bullshit. The rest of it can be garbage and I'll get rid of it. But at least I'll have the idea that came along because I just wrote. So this is a lot like the 3-minute journal in the morning where you just write for 3 minutes, or like brain dumps, that kind of thing. You just go ahead and you write for however long it takes, and eventually an idea will come up. Now, if I'm like working my way through an article that is just painful to move along. I mean, I know I gave you the tip earlier, but this tip will also work. If I'm going through an article that is just painful to get through, I will actually set timers, and I will force myself to work for 20 minutes. And then the timer goes off and I stop, and I'll go do something for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll work for 20 minutes. And what that does is it keeps me from being way too bored for far too long with an article that sucks, but it also keeps me disciplined and forces me to sit there and make progress throughout the day. Now, that's not something I like to do a lot of because, like I told you, I don't like to waste a lot of time, but it does keep me from being really bored and burned out. And that can be the key for me to get past, even if it's a really difficult section of an article to write, or if I just didn't like what I wrote, or if it's just, I'm having a hard time focusing on anything else. That's my best tactic around that situation. So that's it, guys. That's my 5 tips that I have for you on how to beat writer's block. There are more. Maybe I'll do a part 2, but I just wanted to keep this video relatively short. Hopefully get you to employ a couple of these tactics if that's what you're facing right now. And, let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, I keep making videos and not getting subscribers. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.